let's talk about influence. Not the fleeting surface level kind, but the kind that sticks, it resonates, and moves people to take action. Whether you're a brand that draws you in or a sound that lingers in your mind long after the moment's over. Influence is an art. And today's episode is all about mastering it. So in this episode of the Business Breakout, I am joined by two incredible guests who bring the art of influence to life in their own unique ways. One is redefining how brands connect with their audiences, and the other is creating immersive soundscapes that elevate storytelling to new heights. All this and more coming up next on the Business Breakout.
Like a takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll
with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. So, influence isn't just about what you say. It's about how you make people feel. It's about the connection you create, whether that's through a brand that feels authentic or a sound that takes you somewhere unexpected. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. But before we get too far into it, hello there. My name is Ella Glasgow, and I am your host and the Director of Funability at Beyond Virtual Events, where I help companies and established small businesses create impactful virtual events that keep their audience engaged from start to finish. And this just so happens to be the unconventional virtual event that I produce live in Zoom on the first and third Wednesday of every month. So consider this your personal invite to join us in Zoom for the next one so you can see what's possible for your online events. And that's no matter where you're watching from: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. The link to register is right here. It's right here. I am so excited about the guests that I have coming onto the show today. They are going to be some people that I think that you will really enjoy hearing from. And my first guest is someone who knows how to cut through the noise and make brands unforgettable. She is the founder of Hype Media, where she helps businesses create tailored strategies that actually work. There's no cookie cutter solutions going on here. And with over 2 decades in the advertising and marketing space, she's all about blending intention with impact. So please welcome to the Business Breakout, Ginna Tassanelli. Ginna!
It's like dancing behind stage. I love it.
I love it as well. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so glad that I was able to get you on. And we were just talking about backstage how it's been like 5 years. Yeah. That we've known each other, which is so wild to know that we've known each other for that long. And I am really excited to talk with you about what it is that you do specifically so that my audience can really get some insights on branding that makes an impact. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
My first question for you, I want to know how do you help businesses to figure out what's actually working for them versus chasing every new shiny marketing trend?
First of all, it's so easy to fall into that trap of the next shiny object. I even still do it, and I'll catch myself and be like, hold up, Ginna, what are you doing? You need to stop right now. It's really about thinking about your goals, what your passions are, what you're passionate about, what your intention is, and forgetting all of that noise of what everyone else says that's working, because everything works, but not everything works for everyone. And not everything works for everyone at the same stage, because we're all in different stages of our business. So, that's kind of the bottom line. When we start working with one of our agency clients, we're not going through this method that they have to fall into. It's more of how can we customize something that's going to work for your specific audience, for your specific brand, for your specific product or services, and also for your personality and fit into your lifestyle, especially if you don't have a huge team and you're a big part of our, partnership together. So it's really that simple. It's very humanized. It's not like I'm not placing you in this category or that category. So,
yeah. I mean, you said so much in such a short amount of time. And the thing that I'm catching on to, and I hope that you all are latching on to, is what you said about everything works. Everything works, but not everything works for you.
Right.
And I think that's where we can get lost in the shuffle, because there's so many amazing marketing strategies out there and branding strategies out there that we can definitely get lost in the sauce and think that we have to go after every little thing. And I love that you're helping your clients to really understand what works specifically for them to make their brand stand out. So when it comes to doing that with your clients, I know that you're blending intention with impact. So what's an overlooked way that businesses can create that deeper, more meaningful connection with their audiences?
Yeah. Having more actual conversations with humans and asking more questions, being very engaging, reaching out, like using the phone. People actually still make phone calls, like actually speaking to people and with people, having conversations. I mean, that's one of the first things I'll tell clients is, look, if you've got this product or new product and you don't know if it's going to sell, because many times and I did this too. We work backwards, right? We create something because we think people need it. They need to have it. And then like it falls flat and nobody buys it. It's typically because we haven't done our own research and seeing what our ideal clients actually want that they will consume. So I love to start with, let's have like some surveys. If you have people that you can interview, let's start having some kind of like focus groups to really understand our audience and, do your own research too. Get involved in other communities where you feel your ideal clients are at, hang out there, pay attention to the conversations that are happening, things like that. So that's really how we get deep into getting a better understanding of what the intention is going to be for them to be able to build a brand around, their ideal clients and what they want.
Yeah. Humans speaking with humans. It's a wild concept. I think we're all getting lost in this wonderful technological age that we're in. Like we have gone light years forward in terms of technology and the things that we're able to use, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. But as we're in this, we can't forget that human element. I mean, or we do become Terminator. I mean, we have to remember that humans are still here.
Right.
And we're
still living and breathing.
Right. We're still living and breathing. We still want to connect with actual people, not necessarily the brand. The brand, yes, is all encompassing and helps to create that culture of sorts. But at the end of the day, it's a human connection that we're after. So when you're doing this with your businesses and the people that you're working with, I know one of the other pieces of the puzzle that can be a little bit frustrating for people is the marketing budget. So when your clients are ready to invest in their marketing, because that's what it is really. It is really an investment, but they don't know where to start. How do you guide them into allocating that budget so that they can maximize both the short-term results and the long-term results?
Right. It's really understanding all of the pieces that come together, because it's not just one thing. It's like this ecosystem that you're creating when you're marketing. Everything from knowing and understanding what your brand message is, the tone, the personality that you want, that feel that you want your audience to feel when your marketing is out there. But then the assets that are involved, right? The creation process of that, the actual implementation of that. What are the products or the services or the offers that you're focusing on? How do we work backwards to make sure that everything is aligning and cohesive, that's going to move your audience, your ideal clients, through an experience of helping them to get to know, like, and trust you. So eventually they make a decision whether or not to say yes to your product, your offer, or your service. So we guide them through that entire process. And for for companies that are just getting started, it's a longer process. However, I get it. As a business owner, you're putting money out, you're investing, and you want things to happen like this, right? So, I mean, generally speaking, we say give 90 days to get things up and going and have a real process for you, where after about 90 days or so, we can start working on a more rinse and repeat method, because we're seeing what's working. We're seeing what the audience is actually engaging with, what's activating them, things like that. And then there comes a time too that we want to start possibly talking about paid traffic, because paid traffic will help your organic traffic. And now I'm getting I'm getting a little more detailed, but there's different types of marketing that we want to put out there to get in front of the right people. The organic process is really where we start. That's where you want to, because that's helping you test as well. And you want to get things refined before you really start putting ad dollars to work for you. If something's broken, ad dollars is not going to fix it. So
preach a word, preach a whole word, Ginna.
Yeah. And I love ads. Like I geek out on ads. It's my specialty within our agency, but I will turn down clients that are like, I want to run ads, and they've never sold this product or service organically. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're not the right agency for you.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson with that, a couple times. So, but yeah, so that's, it's a deep dive, and really like the foundations that need to be built marketing wise. And it's really any business foundation to get you to that next stage of, doing more heavy lifting marketing and then advertising.
Right. I wish that I had more time. I mean, I have personally more time with you, because
I know,
because we like to play together, but right now in this moment, and some of the things that you were saying, I love that we have known each other for such a long time, and that we have played in this partner space because we have similar views on what it takes to create these experiences. And you all have heard me say this before, that a virtual event really is a marketing tool. This is what I'm talking about. When we're putting these things together, from Ginna's social media post to the event, all of that stuff has to be aligned. All of those things have to be in place so that as your client, your ideal client, is going through your funnel and they get to your event on the other side, if things are disjointed and feel like a completely different place, then they're out of whack. They don't know what to do. Right? So all of these pieces work together, and then Ginna gets to use these pieces that we create in the virtual event in addition to your marketing. Because when we create a virtual event or podcast or webinar, whatever that may be, with video, Ginna gets to take these pieces and then turn them into more marketing material for you. But that only works if you create a well-oiled event. So Ginna, look, I want to ask you more questions, but we have more guests that I have to speak with and get to today. Thank you so much. Don't leave, because we're not done speaking. Okay, we're not done speaking. I promise there's going to be more with Ginna, y'all. There's going to be more. So right now, though, I want to introduce you to my next guest, and he is a master at creating immersive audio experiences that leave a lasting impact. He's an accomplished audio engineer, he's a composer, he's a sound designer who's worked and brought stories to life in some truly unique ways, from award-winning podcast platforms to theatrical soundscapes, and his talent blends technical expertise with creative passion. And I used to work with him on cruise ships. Then there's that part. So please welcome to the next level stage, Rondell Patterson.
I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you'll never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'll be without you. The world could show nothing to me, so what good could living do me? God only knows what I'll be without you. God only knows what I'll be without you. God only knows what I'll be without you.
Rondell, you better, okay? Come on, somebody. Look, when I heard that recording, I know we worked on the same cruise ship, and I know I went to go listen to your band, but I have not heard your voice in such a long time, and I had forgotten how amazing. How I love that. I loved. How are you, friend?
I'm doing good. Every time I remember the cruise ship experience, I remember you scatting, like doing all that.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, you were out there when I had the first opportunity to perform my guest entertainer show. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Wow. Okay. That was 2010. That's awesome. So, okay. I have a limited amount of time with you here today. And as much as I want to we're going to have to do the rest of our catch up after the show today. So we're going to get right to it.
Yes.
So I know that the work that you do, it really does bring stories to life through sound. So when you're doing what you do, what's one element of audio design that you feel like most people overlook, but can completely transform an audience's experience?
Yeah, I would say just understanding the whole culture of everything that you're doing, and but going back to the basics of understanding how sound works. So whatever you're doing, you need to understand the science behind it, and that's the way you know how to be creative with with the knowledge because that way you could break all the rules and create from that standpoint. So knowing your craft really is the best way, I would say, to do that.
Yeah. And so in regard to, you know, businesses and people trying to create experiences and things that you have done for the projects that you've worked on? Because I know that you've worked with some really great and amazing people that have helped their projects to come to life. So how is it that that you help them do that? And can you maybe share like one of your most memorable moments where you know that you're creating the sound for them helped make the story that they were telling unforgettable?
Yeah, for instance, we just put out a podcast. One of my clientele, it's called "We Don't Always Agree" by Sterling K. Brown and his wife Ryan, and they wanted a team sound for that project. And basically, they had a sound in mind, but they couldn't get permission for that sound. So, my thing was to basically study that sounds, see what elements they really like about it. So I literally like I had heard a certain bass guitar, a certain keyboard, a certain style. It was neo soul, and I was like, I'm just gonna jot that sound out my memory for a while, but take these same elements and create that same feeling. And that was the way I was able to like score with that project. And they loved it. They were like, it's the same feeling, it's the same vibe, you know. So understanding things like that is a good way of, like scoring.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is bringing up a really important point because especially in this new AI age, with I just heard is it Sonos? What's the one of it's one of them that makes can make new music for you. I think it's Sonos. I can't remember.
Yes.
And they're getting in trouble now because they've sampled artists, materials, and we're coming into a space that makes it kind of a gray area. And you brought up a point of them having a love for a particular sound, but because of your expertise, you're able to help them create something totally new and unique to them that keeps them out of copyright strikes. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
You picking up what I'm putting down, okay?
Yeah.
because because as much as I love AI, and I feel like it's incredibly helpful with us as creatives when we use it correctly from the skill sets that we have, we do have to be cognizant of what it is that we're doing and where those sounds are coming from. And working with someone like you can help a business or a company to create a sound that is not going to get them into trouble because it was uniquely created just for them with your fingers and brain.
Yes.
So, speaking of which, for the companies and businesses that are looking to really incorporate audio into their projects, what is one tip that you would give them to ensure that their sound is just as impactful as those visuals?
Well, I would say the one thing is to check a professional like myself and say exactly what you want and say that, sit down and go through the processes with them. I mean, I work with a lot of producers and teams and things like that. And so I would say seek a professional to get it done. It's something that's going to stick with you, part of your brand, and you're going to, you would not regret that you have um, made that choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Stay right there. Stay right there with me for just a second because we're not done. I want to bring both Ginna and Rondell back. And I hope that everything that you have been hearing from these two awesome people today are really impacting you and you're taking these things to heart because while there are a lot of things that we can do on our own, all of us would agree, there are things that you don't need to be doing on your own because as Rondell pointed out, there are skill sets that you may not have. And as business owners or working in companies that are fast moving, you don't have the time to turn this hobby into your job because you got other things that you need to do. So with that in mind, I have a final question for the both of you. Influence is a word that we hear really often, but it looks very different depending on your work. So for each of you, what's one strategy or practice that you've used to consistently create influence that truly resonates with your audience? And Rondell, I'm going to let you answer first.
Well, one strategy I use to create influence with my audience is um, basically you find a process that works, and I make a catalog of processes and put them together. This is what works over time and experience, and I use those and perfect those, and that's what works for me, you know.
I love that. Thank you so much. And Ginna, what about you? What's something that that makes that impact for you?
Asking questions and then using those questions to show up, show your face live on video. We were talking about live video just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Live video is my favorite way to connect with an audience.
I'm sure you realize that I too love live video now. Now, thank you so much to all of you for being here today. Thank you, Ginna. Thank you, Rondell. I love it. Don't go anywhere just yet because I still want to talk with you after the show. Thank you all that joined us live today. This was a really amazing episode. And again, Ginna and Rondell, thank you again for reminding us that influence isn't just about being seen. It's about creating something that truly connects, whether it's through intentional branding or immersive soundscapes. The art of influence lies in leaving a mark that resonates long after the moment is over. So I hope that you're walking away today with some fresh ideas and inspiration to bring your own unique influence to life. And that's what we're all about at Beyond Virtual Events. We're helping you create virtual experiences that not only engage, but leave a lasting impact. Whether it's a webinar, a live stream, or a full-scale event, we help you turn your ideas into something that's unforgettable. And I want you to remember to join me live inside of Zoom for the next episode of the Business Breakout on the first and third Wednesday of every month. Space is limited, so grab your spot and let's explore what's possible together. And until next time, remember every moment is an opportunity to create influence that matters so that everything you do can go far beyond.